Hi, I'm Flynn.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, the group had traveled through the city of Blackpool and tried to discover the mystery behind these strange crystals that you guys were holding. Through a difficult encounter with a half-orc named Drek, you guys finally got to a warehouse where you guys opened up a box that was containing a disassembled warforged named Thaddeus. Upon opening the box, Thaddeus seemed to recognize March and thought it was, in fact, her twin sister Amity, who March thought was long dead. With this realization, March decided that she had to go south and rekindle that relationship, or at least try and find her twin sister. You guys parted ways and continued on to the city of Solaris, where Thaddeus told you that you could all rid yourselves of any sort of magical or non-magical tracking that the Hollow Guard could have over you. You guys all slept there, took a night's rest, and waking up in the morning, Flynn, you open your eyes, cuddled up in bed, quiet room, cozy. You look over to the window and the light shining in from the sun is now illuminated the entire room as the morning is fully upon you. You look around the room. You look to where Kalik was sleeping. You look to where Olma was sleeping. You look to where Shrai was sleeping. And none of them are there. The beds are all made. Doesn't seem to be any sort of signs of a struggle or anything. Just looks like everyone got up and started their day. So, you wake up and you roll over. What would you like to do?
Well, where'd everyone go? I'll go up to the window and I'll just take a peek out.
Okay. As you look outside the window, you see the city street in front of you. At this point, the morning is in full swing. You see pedestrians coming by and interacting with the vendors and buying and selling goods. And you see there's definitely a very lively and cordial nature between the patrons of these shops and the shop owners. There seems to be a somewhat decent level of relationship between each individual person. It seems like a tight-knit community where everyone knows each other. And you can see, as you look down to your left, you can see that has just passed the inn that you are staying at, 2 dwarven guards, the garrison of the city. 2 guards walking step in step perfectly right next to each other in this heavy plate armor. You can see that both the shop owners as well as the patrons aren't really paying much attention to the guards. It's not really a fear. It's not really an intimidation. It's more just leaving them alone, letting them do their thing. But as you sort of look back to where you were sleeping, you see in a little pile right next to you, a little pile of gold, silver, and copper that someone has left for you for the day.
I'll go over and I'll pick it up, I suppose, and I'll put it in my pack.
Okay.
And
you now have a little bit of a per diem for the day. And you look through this pile, and it's, if you do the quick math in your head, it is your party's sum total of gold divided by 4 at this point. So, you take that and you stash it. And as you look around the rest of the room, you notice 2 things right off the bat. The first thing that you notice is a framed map on the wall right above the dresser. You look at it and you see a little red dot that says you are here, right at your inn. And you see a list of recommendations as far as shops, taverns, places to sightsee. You pretty much get a local's guide to the city. And as you are looking over the map, is there anywhere in particular that you want to take a specific mental note?
Well, I think I would like to try to remember my training and back in Ironlight when looking for other members, where would they congregate? Like, where would they leave their marks? Would that be like behind the taverns? If I remember right.
Yeah, it would typically be behind taverns. There are some like specifically contracted taverns where like a little bit of gold is handed under the table in order for these taverns to sort of be quote unquote meeting places. Not really meeting places, but places where the members of the Ironlight can go and sort of secretly get supplies.
Sure. And then if I remember right, there were also like markings sometimes they would use on the back of buildings. Like,
yeah, there's that distinctive shape of a dragon in a C formation with a sword being driven through vertically. So yeah,
Sweet.
that is what you would be looking for sure.
I will make note of all of the taverns and maybe like some shady alleyways that I think maybe they would be going to. And
yeah, you definitely know it wouldn't be like the most popular.
Right. So
places.
I'll take note of those.
It would be
small
a little bit back alleys.
And I'll kind of like take a mental note, and then as I'm about done, I'll feel like my belly rumbling, and I'm like, man.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get something to eat. And I'll go back into my pouch and I'll pull some of that gold. I'll pull like some of that gold out in my hand. I'll walk downstairs and try and find somewhere to get food.
One more thing right before you head out of the room. You also notice, left there untouched by anyone, the sleeping, well, quote unquote sleeping, deactivated head of Thaddeus sitting there on the dresser. No one else seems to have taken him for the day. So you have the choice of either taking him or just leaving him here in the empty room.
I am taking him because I'll walk up. Once I notice that and no one else is in the room, I'll just be like, huh. And I'll look around. I'll look down and I guess I can't leave you here. Looks like you're coming with me, buddy. And I'll pick him up and I'll trot down the stairs.
Okay. So now that you have picked up the head of Thaddeus, there's a couple of important things to note.
Oh no, do I die?
You die immediately upon contact. No. So like sort of looking at him, you look at kind of like the base of his neck where he's been disconnected from the rest of his body, and even picking him up and like sort of shaking him around a little bit, he isn't like waking up. He's still in this sort of depowered state. But looking at the base of the neck, you can see a couple of cogs and gears, and that you would definitely be able to sort of move around and situate into different positions. So one thing to note is that you can activate Thaddeus yourself. You can do that in two different ways. You can either do that 3 times a day for 10 minutes each, or you can choose to do it all just once together and he lasts for an hour. And while he's activated, he comes with any sort of knowledge, possible skills that Thaddeus could have.
Okay, so I can do this situating all at once and he lasts for a while.
Yeah, so either you can activate him once for 10 minutes and then later in the day once for 10 minutes and then later in the day once for 10 minutes, or if you want to just activate him once and he lasts an hour.
And then it recharges or something, like that's all I get for the whole day?
That's all you get for the whole day, and then he needs a long rest pretty much to recharge, because he's not attached to his chest and body unit. He doesn't have full power, so that's what he's dealing with right now.
Okay. I'll mull that over as I walk down the stairs, and as I'm walking down the stairs, I'll kind of look at Thaddeus's head and just kind of remember that, like, I don't know, Arch is gone, and hope she's doing okay. I know that she was holding this thing and, could have helped her, but she's strong. She'll be fine. And I'll kind of get to the bottom of the stairs and kind of snap out of it, and I'm assuming start smelling the smell of foods and such, and that'll kind of probably bring me out of that.
Yeah, so you can see a couple of the patrons of the inn are at this point sitting down and just starting their meals. You can see that there's a little area where you can sit down and order a meal, sort of near the bar area. And then you also see sort of an open table with some like bread and fruit and stuff like that. Just more like grab and go stuff.
How big is Thaddeus's head? Do I have to is it like a basketball size for me?
It's about the size of it is the size of a normal humanoid head. So probably just a little bit bigger than your head, but not too much bigger.
I will do that. I'll hold him under my arm, kind of have my arm over top and around, and I'll kind of walk up to the smorgasbord that we have set up here, and I'll kind of hold Thaddeus' head, still inactive. I'll just be like, all right, buddy. So I don't know if you know much about breakfast food, but there are some foods that you want to stay away from. See these? And I'll point to some cream pastry stuff, and you don't want that. You see these? And I'll point to the bread. I'm like, oh, that's better. Be like, that's kind of helpful, but you really want. And I'll point to the fruit and be like, these will keep you going. It'll wake you up real good. And I'll reach out and can I grab some of the fruit, like an apple?
Yeah, there is one apple remaining.
Okay.
And you can...
Perfect.
There's one apple sitting there on the table. And you can take that last apple with you on your day. Is there anything else you want to grab from here?
Yes, I'll reach out one left for us. And I'll grab it, and I'll try and affix it in his mouth. So it's kind of stuck in his mouth, like he's chomping on it. Hold that for me, bud. And I'll grab a few more things and pile them on his head. Maybe grab a thing of bread, and I'll turn so he's not seeing. I'll look down at his head, and then I'll look back, and I'll grab a pastry as well. And then I'll run over to the table and start scarfing down some food.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, with a full belly and Thaddeus underneath your arm, you finish your breakfast and are heading out. So are you going directly to a tavern? Is there anywhere specifically you want to go?
Yeah, I think with my buddy, I'll kind of start walking out and be like, all right, so the plan is to find a sentinel or a recruit. I don't know, but probably a sentinel. And to do this, I'm basically teaching Thaddeus as he's turned off and not even able to hear this. But I'm just talking to him because there's none of my party members around. So we're going to try and go to the taverns and see if we can find any symbols, logos, or anything like that. And you'll know when you see them. And I'll start walking to the closest one of the taverns that I marked in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So you walk out of the inn. You take a right. It's sort of in the direction of one of the closer taverns. And you're walking down the street, and there are shops on either side of you. There's lively conversation, and you're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, on the right, just sort of out of nowhere, it's shop, and then gallows. You see set up there. You see 3 hanging nooses. You see 2 of them are empty, and the one in the middle is occupied. You see hanging there some sort of humanoid creature. You can't tell exactly what race because they have a bag over their head. They're in these deep purple robes that are sort of layered, and you can see a sign on their hanging from their neck. In common, it says spy. And you read Dwarvish,
yes.
Right? And directly below that in Dwarvish, it says criminals beware.
As soon as I notice that there's someone actually hanging on the gallows, I will put my hands over the inert Thaddeus's eyes, cover them up as we walk by. Oh, you don't want to see this, buddy. And I'll kind of make note of the attire and kind of read those scrawlings on that. Look around a little bit as I pass. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to continue to walk at a normal pace towards the tavern or location that I was going to first. But as I walk by, I'd like to look around and see, is anyone around the gallows? Is anyone doing anything to this body? Or are they bringing new people up or anything like that?
No, there doesn't seem to be any current activity. With the people who are walking in the street, people are sort of walking, but they are giving a pretty wide berth to the gallows. The street itself is getting kind of crowded at this point, but there is a 10 or 15 foot radius where people are just completely avoiding the gallows.
Does it seem wide?
And then looking too, you'd see a dwarven guard in the same sort of plate armor on either side, just sort of standing there keeping watch.
Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like anything's going on there right now. It just seems like the person's hanging.
No current activity. You sort of feel like it's more of a warning than a current active scene.
I'll continue on. I'll make note of the attire that the guards are wearing. Just try and keep an eye out for them. It seems like I want to stay away from them because it seems like that's what other people are doing. So I'll just try and blend in with the crowd and just kind of do the social norms and stay away from the guards, but make my way towards the tavern. Shady tavern.
Okay. All right. As you make your way towards, there's sort of a little grouping of taverns and shops. So, since there are a couple of taverns in this little area, I'm going to have you make an investigation check for me to see if you can find any of this symbology.
Okay. So, investigation. Do I have any bonuses to this? I feel like
just whatever your investigation bonus is.
9.
9. All right. You look around and you sort of.
Wait, am I supposed to be rolling at advantage for something?
For intelligence check.
Ah, wait. That's intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Woo! Much better. 17, 19.
19. Okay. So you are looking around and you sort of sweep the perimeter of the first tavern, and you don't really get a sense that this is probably a little bit too popular of a place. You move on to the next tavern, and it's just sort of the right amount of seedy, where, things haven't really been cleaned in the last week or two. Some questionable characters are coming in and out.
That's the spot.
And you look around, and as you sort of peek into an alleyway, you see down sort of near the street level, carved into the wood of the side of this tavern. It's almost too small to carve an actual dragon, so it's more of just a plain C with a line through it.
I'll go up and I'll look around first to see if anyone's watching.
Make a perception or insight check.
All right. Perception. That is a total of 20. And as I do, I look down at Thaddeus' inert head. Shh. Look around to see if I see anyone.
Definitively, no one's looking at you. You just look like a halfling that just kind of popped down an alleyway and are looking at a wall.
Great.
People aren't interested in
I will subtly point the symbol out to Thaddeus. This is what we're looking for. That means that there's a sentinel around here somewhere. And I'll look around, look down the alleyways once again. I'll look more at the symbol to look if there's any additions, like dots or anything that would let me know what the status of this symbol is, if there is any.
Yeah, so you look at it and you can see these sort of slight engraving dots around it. And you sort of look at their position and the way that they're situated around it. And it looks like you can read that there is a sentinel currently stationed in this city. And that is pretty much all you get, is that this is currently an Iron Light protected city. Doesn't really tell you exactly where the sentinel is, but that there should be one in the vicinity.
Do I remember from my training what I do next? Because Russ, I'm not really sure, but I feel like maybe Flynn might know, like, okay, once I find a symbol, like, do I go to the tavern it was written on and wait? You know what, that's what I'll just do. I'm going to go into the tavern and kind of just sit down. I'll go into the tavern. See what happens when I go in the tavern.
Okay. So you walk into the tavern. You see behind the bar, you see a tiefling man just serving up some morning drinks to people. You see a couple of like hot beverages being passed out, and you see a couple of like questionable, possibly alcoholic drinks being passed out early morning. Yeah. The patrons of this bar or this tavern at this point are mostly dwarven. You do see a couple of more tieflings. You see a couple of furbolgs, and that's kind of the extent of the crowd in here. You actually do see a couple halflings too.
Oh, cool.
A good portion of this population of this city are halflings.
Oh, that's cool. So I'll walk in and I'll go up to the barkeep. And again, what did you say they were a dwarf?
Tiefling.
Okay. I will say, hey, good morning. When I was walking to, this is Thaddeus, and I'll hold him up, and he kind of like ching ching as I hold him up. I was walking by the gallows, and there was someone hanging there in some purple robes. I'm curious. Oh, I'm Flynn Fellowweave, by the way, part of the Ironlight Collective. Yeah. Oh wait. Anyway, there was a person hanging there, and I'm curious what that's about.
Yeah, they were a spy. I mean, that's what I read on there.
Got it. And what's your name, sir?
Zyra.
Zyra?
Yeah,
well,
Zyra.
Great to meet you, Zyra. This is Thaddeus.
Hey.
I'm Flynn Fellowweave, and I'm part of the Ironlight Collective.
Pleasure to meet you, Flynn.
Right.
What can I get for you?
Well, is it DM, is it hot right now? Is it hot out?
It's the sun's out. I mean, it's not hot. No, it's sort of like 70s, mid 70s.
Yeah, could I get something to wake me up? I'm a little tired. I slept in today and all my friends are gone, so, well, not all of them, and I'll again lift up Thaddeus, but most of them, I guess I need to wake up a little bit and then maybe go find them.
Yeah. You want me to get you something that'll wake you up? I got something that'll wake you up.
Sure, that'd be great. How much is it?
All right. Well, depends how much you want. You want to be awake or you want to be, like, really awake?
Really awake.
That's gonna be, like, 5 gold pieces.
Okay, sure. And I'll pull out 5 gold without even questioning it, slam it on the table. Wake me up!
Shit, all right, man. Shit, your funeral.
And he walks over to the bar and reaches up sort of near the top shelf and brings a unlabeled bottle down, puts a glass down, pours some, and it's a very, very dark liquid, and slides it over to you.
Thaddeus, do you want to try it first? Shake him a little bit. Okay, and I'll just take it. I'll smell it.
Your nose is immediately, like, the hairs inside of your nose are singed. It smells like, I mean, just straight alcohol and, like, just stupid amounts of sugar.
I'll look up to my wonderful tiefling bartender. You sure this is gonna wake me up? It smells just like an alcoholic drink.
Yeah, it gets me going every morning.
Well, all right. And I'll take a sip. I still don't really know if I trust him.
As soon as it hits your lips, like, it burns. I mean, it doesn't, like, hurt you, but it's kind of painful to go down.
That's really good. And I'll kind of walk over to a table and sit down.
Okay.
And, like, in a table, like, I've been taught by the collective, like, find a table in the corner, brooding. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing a shit job of it. And I'm like, I take a sip every few minutes and you just hear in the corner, but I'm trying my best to be brooding and cool. But I will eventually finish the drink over the next few minutes.
Okay. As you are finishing the drink, make an insight check for me.
Sure.
As you're looking over the group of patrons here.
Ooh, very good. 18 plus 2. Total of 20. Hi. That means I'm going to roll low later. Great.
Total of 20. So the drink is sort of distracting you for the moment, and then you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to start looking around. So you look around, and sure enough, in the back corner, someone who you had looked at, but then sort of glazed over, you didn't really consider them much. You look at them again, and it is pretty much the telltale signs of a sentinel.
Really?
A lone figure in the corner, in the dark shaded corner, no torches near them, dark cloak, hood up, and you can see them just spinning a gold coin on the table, making a little ding, ding.
That's so cool. So once I notice this, have I finished the drink? Do I feel energized and am I done with that?
You are done. You don't really feel the effects right now. You feel like you might later.
Oh goodness. Well, regardless, when I forget about the drink, I set it down. I notice my compatriot sitting at the other end of the bar, spinning a gold coin. I'm like, man, see, Thaddeus, that's what I want to be like. And I try and straighten up and focus and really look brooding. And I'll look down at my arm, and I'll just kind of reveal it, and I'll put it on the table in kind of a really cool, in a way that he can see there's tattoos on it. Or they can see that there's tattoos on it, and just hold my arm there so they can see that I got the tattoos. And I just kind of sit there and kind of look off in the distance with my hand out there like that.
And as you have your arm out, you sort of just glance over towards the man in the cloak, and you just for a brief instant see a little flurry with his fingers, and another second passes, and you can feel almost as if someone is grabbing your sleeve. You can feel some sort of force sort of take hold of your sleeve and slide it back down your arm, covering your tattoos once more.
That's so cool. I noticed that came from him, though.
Most likely, yeah.
I'll fix it, push it down, push my other one down. Kind of stand up, kind of walk towards the door nonchalantly, kind of turn over, look at where the person's sitting. Not really sure what to do. I'll go back up to the bar.
As you turn around to start walking up to the bar, your path is interrupted by a chair sliding out right in front of you as he, under the table, sort of kicks the chair out and slides it over towards you, offering you a seat.
In my mind, oh man, that's cool. And I'll kind of look at it, kind of just oh man, and I'll go sit down and kind of do the squeech it up, and make really loud noises. Sit down. Hi.
And at this point, you hear coming from the man, "What are you doing? You got to keep those tattoos covered up."
Right. I'm terrible at that. I mean, Victor always said, I got to keep it low key, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Hi, I'm Flynn Fellowy, by the way.
You know Victor.
Yeah. You know Victor?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah, we came up together.
No way.
Yeah.
He didn't talk much about where he came from or anything, so that's cool to meet someone that knew him before. What's your name?
My name is Bailin.
Bailin.
It's very nice to meet you, Flynn.
Yeah.
We don't get too many let's call them like-minded folk around here.
Yeah, well, I saw the marking on the back of the building here, and I kind of knew there was one of us here, or one of you here. I'm not an us yet.
Man, it's doing its job. Oh, I should have known. You ain't full-fledged yet, are you?
Not yet. No, I don't have everything yet. But
I should have known by the, and he sort of shrugs his shoulder, and a little bit of his overcloak comes off, and just underneath you can see a little tuft of fur attached to the green cloak that is the symbol of a sentinel of the Iron Light.
One day I'll have one of those. Kind of like touch my shoulder. So what are you doing here?
Oh, you know, a bit of this, bit of that.
Cool.
Doing my job mostly. What are you doing here? I think that's the more interesting question.
Well, honestly, I don't even know at this point. We're following a group, and we're kind of trying to figure out something with, and I like whisper for the first time. You know, the Hologuard? I don't know if you know the Hologuard, but apparently they're tracking some of my friends, and they're dangerous. There's also these crystals. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. Do you know anything about that?
The Hologuard is kind of bad news. I should try and stay clear of them. Just because when I've come across them, they come in numbers, it seems. So, you know, me just out here by my lonesome, I try and, keep my cool and don't attract any attention from them.
Right. You said your name was Bailin again, right?
Bailin, yes. Bailin Corvell.
And DM, when I'm looking at this person, what do they look like now that I'm closer?
Yeah, so at this point, you're just able to sort of look underneath the hood, and you see a pretty filled-in 5 o'clock shadow. You see very obviously humanoid features. This is someone of the stature of a human or an elf. Okay. And underneath, you see just very slightly pointed ears, that of a half-elf. And as you're sort of looking over their face, you can see sort of like these road-weary features. You can see like dirt and grime that's just been like over the years just pushed and pummeled into their skin.
So, how's it been? How long have you been here?
Oh, I've been here for, how long has it been? 11, 12 years?
Wow.
Yeah, been quite a while.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
You know, I think there might just be something that you can help me out with, Flynn. You want to go on a hunt?
Do I? Can Thaddeus come?
Yeah. I was gonna say, you do know that creature is deceased, right? They are no longer conscious.
What do you mean?
You are aware of this, correct?
No, it was talking yesterday. It's fine.
Oh, all right. Well, just keep those voices to yourself, and we can move on from there.
Could I was gonna
hire.
The table?
Oh yeah, go for it.
And I'm gonna try and do the turn on thing, where I turn it on. You said I
okay.
could,
So are you turning it on for
10
just
minutes.
10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you flip one of the switches, and you hear sort of within the head as the eyes begin to glow purple and sort of spark to life. You hear within the head.
Oh man. Oh hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Thaddeus?
Good. Pretty good nap.
Right. Well, are you hungry? I gave you an apple earlier, but you weren't really chewing it, so I just ate it myself.
I think I can sort of... Yeah, did you put food in my mouth? I can sort of taste where you were for
Yeah, oh, sorry. Is that okay? I didn't... Is that alright that I did that?
Yeah, sure. I don't really eat too much, but when I
What do you eat?
I mean, pretty much... Well, now that I am a little lighter than I used to be, I don't really eat as much. But, yeah, just sort of this and that. Depends what I can get my hands on.
And then remembering that Bailin's here, I'll look up at him. See?
Oh, shit.
I'll push Thaddeus
All right,
towards him. He's alive.
Hello, friend. Are you also on your way to becoming a sentinel? Or are you just along for the ride?
Oh, I don't. Well, apologies. I don't know what that is. But I'm just here. Well, this is one of my new friends here, so I'm just going along with him, I guess. I can't really go anywhere by myself.
Oh, well, then I guess you're going to be along for the ride today. Flynn, I assume he's coming along with us.
Yeah, if he can. And I'll kind of, I'll scoop him up under my arm again. And I'll try and figure out a way to affix him to my backpack.
Okay. Yeah, there
so
are
hanging
actually,
off the back or something.
just like the way that his head is designed, there are a couple of like metal slats on the side, sort of where his ears would be. Theoretically, you would be able to like loop a piece of fabric or leather strap through that and affix it to your backpack.
Sure. I'll do that, make sure it's secure, tighten it up. Well, all right, Bailin. I'm ready for my first hunt.
Oh shit, you're first. All right.
Well, I guess with a sentinel, I don't really know. I'm kind of just following along.
Well, that's kind of what you got to do until you can take your first steps.
Yeah. Victor always said improvise.
Hey, it's the number one rule. All right. I'm ready to go. Let's head on out and get ourselves set.
Yeah. What are we hunting today?
Well, I got a little communique this morning that told me that there were some creatures coming out of a cave nearby. So I thought we could go over and, kick some ass, take down whatever needs to be taken down, the Iron Light way.
Yeah. Sounds good. Let's go. Thaddeus, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm excited to see what today has in store for us.
Awesome. And I say that over my shoulder as he's now on my back. And all right, let's go. And I stand up and walk out the door, forgetting that I need to follow Bailin. And I turn around after I get outside, wait for him.
Okay. So you wait for Bailin, and he sort of takes the lead. And he is, at this point, he puts his hood all the way up. Even if you're trying to look for his face, you can barely see it. He's sort of weaving in and out of the crowds, and as you're following directly behind,
I will do my best to imitate exactly what he does. So as soon as he puts his hood up and turns and starts going, I put my hood up and I start weaving and bobbing and just trying to basically mimic what he does.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, you are kind of step in step trying to see what he's doing, mimicking his style. And before you know it, you are at the outer edges of the city. And as you guys approach the outer edge, there is a sort of a wall barrier to the outer edge of this city. But you guys are heading west, so you guys are heading sort of away from the war front. So you guys are on the opposite side of the city, so you can see there is definitely a lot less security here than when you came in.
Yeah.
And as you guys walk, Bailin walks past the guard, and right as the guard is about to say something, he sort of flashes him a little paper. You can't quite see what's on the paper, but then the guard sort of backs down and nods his head and lets Bailin, you, and Thaddeus walk out. And as soon as you walk out of the city and past these walls, you see it opens up into a beautiful forest. You can see a pretty big path that looks pretty well walked in front of you. And you guys continue on the path into the forest. Immediately, you're hit with the sounds of the forest. It goes from the sounds of a city to the sounds of a forest, with birds chirping and leaves rustling on your left and on your right. After a little while walking on the path, Bailin sort of looks down the path one way, looks down the path the other way, sees that no one's coming, and then dips back into the woods and falls back into the trees and starts walking off of the path. And you follow him for a little bit. And after about another 20 minutes of walking through the forest, stepping over these little creeks every once in a while, seeing a deer run across your view every once in a while, you finally come up to a very well-hidden camp. You can see sort of draped across a couple trees a tarp, and you can see the remains of what used to be a campfire that was probably put out a couple nights ago, and some supplies just sort of spewed around this camp. He takes a couple minutes. He takes his overcloak off, fully revealing his sentinel garb. You can fully see very reminiscent of what Victor wore, sort of in a similar style. You can fully get a view of Bailin's long hair sort of pulled back into a tight braid and a knot in the back of his head. As he puts down his overcoat, he puts down some more of his supplies, picks up his 2 swords, sheathes them in his belt, picks up his longbow, throws it over his shoulder, picks up his crossbow, puts it on his hip, turns to you and says, "All right, I think we're all situated. So there's a cave that's here, further west, but looking at you, I think it'd be interesting to let you take the reins on this one. What do you think about that?"
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, that sounds awesome. Victor wouldn't let me do that.
Well, Victor is a stick in the mud, and
don't let him hear you say that.
Well, I'll say it to his face. I don't care. I kid. Victor's a good guy. I was told that I'll tell you what I was told, and then I'll let you figure it out. All right?
All right.
There's a cave off to the west here, just outside of Solaris. And some hunters and some poachers have been claiming that creatures of the Underdark have been spewing out. And that's all that I was told. So, Flynn, find me a cave.
Yes, sir. And I'll start walking and then realize that maybe I should sit down and think for a second. So then I sit down and pull out my bag and like go through my monster book and realize I don't have anything about this. And I close it and kind of fumble a little bit. And I'm just like, think to myself, like, improvise. And I get my stuff, get back up, and start walking to the west. And start looking for a cave.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have you make either a survival or a nature check.
Oh boy, which one's better? Survival or nature, you said?
Yeah.
Ooh, survival. Ooh, 15 plus 19 total.
19 total. Nice. So, you are, at first, you're like flipping through your book. You're trying to find something that you can sort of latch onto. And then once you reach into that improvisational space in your head, you just start moving. And Bailin follows right behind you, sort of step in step. The way that you were following him through the city, he is now following you. And you are sort of looking. It's tough to see where you're going just with the density of the trees here, but you start to feel beneath your feet the ground shifting. Sort of there seems to be a higher elevation off to your right and a lower elevation off to your left. So you start looking around and you're sort of getting a lay of the land, and you see a couple of hills, sort of like this more hilly area where the trees seem to rise up a little bit more, and that's probably where a cave entrance would be. So you start heading over that way. It gets a lot more rocky as you approach, and soon enough, you are able to find the mouth of this cave. It opens up. It's about a 20-foot wide entrance, and it immediately descends into darkness.
Once I get to the cave, I'll kind of look back and kind of give a smile, like a little thumbs up.
That's how you get it done, Flynn.
I'll look around. I'll look for tracks. I'll look for any kind of fur that's been scraped off on the walls. Any kind of sign of anything running in and out of this cave.
Okay. Make a... I'm going to say this one's either survival or investigation.
Investigation, because I have advantage. Because of the fortune teller, that's what it was, right?
Yep.
First roll was better. 17 investigation.
17 investigation. Okay. As you feel on the walls of this cave, you feel your fingertips sort of run over this rough patch, and you can see these lines that have been dragged through the rock itself. Looking at them, they don't seem to be like one individual claw. It's not like one big claw that made these marks, but it looks like just the way that they're sort of zigzagged, it looks like one claw at a time.
How high up are they? When I'm standing there, are they like?
They're right at about your chest height.
Oh,
so
okay. They're not
4
too
feet off the ground.
Yeah. Thank you, though. It's kind of like 3, so saying 4
Or
makes
3.
me... No.
Okay, there you go.
4 sounds great.
3 to 4 feet. We'll say 3 to 4 feet off the ground.
I'll kind of feel these up. I'll kind of motion to Bailin. I get him to come over and take a look at it. What do you think? What do you think about these?
Interesting. I know what I think. I want to know what you think.
Individual. And again, they're one scrape and then a separate scrape, like multiple different singular
it's like
claws.
so what you can see right now is 4 long scrapes along this, but they're not all parallel with each other. So they start at different points and they end at different points. So it's not like there were 4 claws on a singular hand that scraped this.
Right.
It looks like something individual.
Right. Well, I don't really know. I mean, it looks kind of like separate, like almost like a beak, maybe. Maybe this thing scratched its mouth.
I'd say beak is a pretty good guess.
Yeah. And I'll look at the ground. Do I notice any tracks or prints or footprints or anything?
Yeah, you do. With that pretty good roll. You see a couple of different sets of tracks. You see all coming from inside the cave, leaving the cave. You see 2 sets of individual humanoid footprints. You see tracks of... For these individual ones, I'm going to have you make a nature check for me. And then can you also remind me what sort of creatures you have written in Flynn's guide?
So I have displacer beasts, dragons, owlbears, wolves, trolls, and goblins. Added giant spiders and water weirds.
Okay, so because of that, you don't even have to make a roll.
Nice.
You see specific tracks for giant spiders coming out.
Nice.
And you also see tracks for a third creature that you don't recognize. And it's like in this weird, it's like this 3-toed claw almost. Almost sort of reminding you kind of the way that Shreya's claws are, his feet are, but bigger and like more meaty than that.
Yeah, so I'll have my book out and I'm kind of flipping through and I notice the spiders. Point that out to Bailin. Well, I know what those are. I don't really know what those are. They look bigger. And I'll look at like all the tracks and notes that I have about like, I don't know, owlbears, but that doesn't fit. That's not right. I'll look at the wolves and that doesn't look right. Guess we'll just have to find out.
I was gonna say there's only one way to see.
That's the fun, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. My favorite part.
I know we're in
uncertainty of it.
I know we're in the middle of this, but what was Victor like when he was training up with you?
He was always very serious. He was always a guy to, put his head down, do the work, and get it done. He never had any notions of enjoying his work.
As I put the book away and put it in my bag and stand up, get ready to walk. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people in the Iron Lake like that.
Yeah.
Seem too serious.
You do the job for a while and it changes you.
It's not going to change me. Doesn't seem to have changed you either.
No, I like to keep my spirits high. Because what's the fun if you're not having fun?
Exactly. And I start more of a skip in my step, walking down the path, tracking.
Okay.
I will follow as best I can the tracks that I am unfamiliar with. After scribbling them down in my book, kind of like starting the process of taking notes of whatever this creature is.
Okay. So as you start going down into this cave, do you have dark vision?
I do not. As a halfling, I don't believe halflings do.
I don't believe so. So as you are descending down into the cave, Bailin sort of taps you on the shoulder and he says, I don't really have much need for this, but I picked this up at camp because I thought you might come in handy. And he flips you a small little vial of a looks like a pink potion. Mm-hmm. It might help you see a little bit better down here.
Without hesitation. Thanks, appreciate it. I knock it back.
And as you knock it back, you feel like the warmth of it going down your throat, and then that warmth then comes back up into your head and sort of into the back of your eyes, and it almost stings, and then it turns into sort of like this throbbing pain in the back of your eyes, almost like a migraine that's just like beating the back of your eyes, and then it subsides. And as you open your eyes again, you now have dark vision.
Right on. As I open my eyes, woo! Man, that was a lot worse than that drink I had earlier.
Yeah, I don't have too much of those, but I know they hit you pretty hard.
I haven't seemed to have any effects of it yet, but thank you, though. It hurt, but hey. Gonna get the job done, right?
Yeah, hey. That's what we're here to do.
I give him like a kind of playful punch in the calf. No, thigh. Kind of like, yeah. I start walking down more.
All right. Cool. So as you are going down into the tunnels and into the caves, it is mostly a singular path for the most part, until you hit a fork in the road. One path goes right and one path goes left.
I'll get down. I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to listen to both paths for, 30 seconds. And I'm also going to see what, if any, what tracks are going down which path.
Okay. Make another either survival or investigation.
Advantage on the investigation. Ooh, 2 13s. So I think that's 15. Yep, 15.
15, okay. So you once again run your hand over the side of the cave wall and touch the rocks. And on either side, you can feel those same sort of scratches going down the rock. Same exact thing that was up top. And after a moment of listening, you can start to hear down in the cave. You can hear something echoing off the walls. The sound is just bouncing off and just able to hit your ears. It's like this screeching, like almost like a bird squawking. Not like a songbird, but like almost like a crow.
Which path?
The one to the right.
And do I see any tracks or anything on the ground?
Yes, you see the exact same tracks. The exact same 3 sets of tracks.
Pull out my book again, quick. Write a few notes in it. Squawks like bird. Draw the prints again. Close it. Put it back in my satchel. Look back at Bailin. All right. Ready?
I'm ready to go.
And I'll look at him, and I notice that he doesn't have his backpack on. Right?
Yeah, he's just got his swords, his longbow, and his crossbow.
Take my backpack off with Thaddeus' head, with my weapons, everything, and I will leave it at that fork.
Okay, are you not taking any weapons with you?
Nope. Not gonna take my weapons. And I'm gonna look at him and be like, I'm more nimble this way.
Okay. Not the smartest decision you made today, Flynn.
I think I'll be alright. And I'll kind of rub my tattoos with my hands.
Alright, you got more confidence than I do. Alright, let's go.
And I'll head down.
Okay.
But stealthily. I'm gonna go sneaky, because now I'm hearing this thing. We're sneaking. I want to start crouching and stuff.
Okay. I'm going to have you make a stealth check for me.
Sure. Right. I'm rolling well, which is scary for when something happens. That is it's another total of 20. 16
Total
plus,
of 20,
yeah.
nice. You are all moving completely silently. Also, Thaddeus was on your backpack. Are you leaving Thaddeus?
If I can retcon, I will put him under I will bring him.
Okay.
I will bring him under my arm,
sure.
like the basketball, and he's not. How long does it take to activate him?
It is an action to activate.
Okay. I'll get a little closer before I activate, but I will, if you allow it, I'll say that, sure, I bring Thaddeus
Okay.
under my arm.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you creep your way closer and closer to where you hear these squawks. And as you're moving down, the squawks continue. And eventually, you're also able to hear a voice. Maybe two voices? You're not sure. But from a distance, quite a ways away, you can hear. Just leave it! What? No, keep firing! No, it's almost there, please! Just give me one more moment.
Do I see anything?
Just ahead, there's a little bit of a curve in the path, and you can just barely see a little bit of light coming from around the bend.
I'll stop before we go around the corner, and I will set Thaddeus down on the floor, tinker with him, and turn him on for 10 minutes.
Okay. And he pops to life once again.
And as soon as he pops, shh. Give him like the shush.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Oh, shit, we're in it now.
Yeah, we're in it. Hey, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks. Do you want to bring me up to speed?
Yeah, so, we went down in the cave. There's some kind of screeching bird thing. And now there's people talking in the pathway, so I figured now's the time to wake you up.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, in this state, I don't really know if I could do much.
Right.
I think I'm sort of limited, but I think I can cast some of the spells that I used to be able to cast. Probably not all of them, but I think I can cast a few.
Okay, well, I'll let you figure out it whenever we get in there. You just kind of do whatever you feel like is right.
Okay.
Is there any way that I can hook him to my back by any chance?
No, you would have to keep him.
That's fine.
You would have to hold him.
Shove him under my armpit again. And, all right, buddy, be quiet.
It's almost closed. Just give me one more moment.
No, that means we gotta go. And I hurriedly get up to the corner and kind of see what's going on. Hearing that.
Okay. As you round the corner, you see a couple of things.
Oh boy.
You see.
No.
Opening up. The glow that you could see from around the corner was a river of lava.
Oh, great.
That is a couple 100 feet down. You can see the rock in front of you falls away, and there are a couple of these long pathways in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that you're on a pretty stable edge of the cave right now, and you could see on the other side of this cavern, the tunnel continues. There are a couple of points where some rock is still sort of still in place, but most of it has fallen out, connecting the two. You can see across these points where some of the rock is still standing, there are bridges in between these rickety wooden bridges. But across the way, you can see two drow. And one of them, right next to this gate that they're attempting to close, is trying to pull this lever. It's this massive lever, and you can see they're trying to pull it down with all of their might, and as they pull this lever down more and more, the gate also closes. And this gate portions off a little outcropping of this cave. You can see probably a countless number of giant spiders in there. As the drow is trying to close this gate shut, as these spiders are all writhing around. You can see a second drow firing his bow and arrow at 2 hook horrors that are on these bridges. On the rocks in between you and the other side of the cave, you can see these 2 hulking creatures. Each of them have a couple of arrows shot into their shoulder. One of them has got a couple in their leg. But these creatures are nasty looking. They are purple. They have this purplish skin with like this fur that almost turns into feathers on their backs. They've got these hooks on their hands that look like bones jutting out of their arms to create these massive nasty hooks. They've got completely white eyes. They have got these beaks that come out of their front of their mouths that look like they could rip your head off in one bite. And you can see their feet are in the exact same shape that you had noticed earlier, the one unknown creature. So, with that, the one drow that is firing the bow and arrow at the hook horrors turns to the other one that's trying to close the gate with the spiders, and he says, "Just leave them! They're not worth it! Come on, let's go!" As the drow who's trying to pull the lever down lets go of the lever and dips with the other drow into the cave opposite of you. You can see at this point the lever is holding steady, but it's not all the way closed yet. As these hook horrors with arrows stuck in them turn around and notice you have entered the cave. I'm going to have you roll initiative.
No! So essentially they ran farther away, deeper down the cave, and I have these hook horrors and potentially some spiders impeding my progression down this cave.
Exactly.
Got you. How high up are these bridges and walkways before you hit the level?
300 to 400 feet.
Oh,
these
they're
things go
ways down.
Yeah, this is a ways down.
Okay, got it. All right. So my initiative was 18.
18.
Yep.
Okay. Initiative here. And I'm going to have you roll for Thaddeus.
Sure. I'm going to roll, and then you just add whatever you need to add.
Yep.
I'm rolling really well. I got a 17 plus whatever you want to add.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's going to come bite me in the butt. I know it.
Okay, so with that, Flynn, you are up first. You get the top of the initiative. So you see this gate holding the spiders back is not all the way closed, and you can see as the spiders are like writhing around in there, the gate starts to just barely inch its way up a little bit. What would you like to do?
And how close is this spider corral to the hook horrors?
The spider corral is on the other side of this cavern, and the hook horrors are sort of on these rocks in the middle.
I am going to try, if I can notice that this potential corral of spiders is about to be unleashed, I'm going to try and make my way to there. So if there's a way for me to cross a bridge and not run into a hook horror and get around it, I'll use my movement. And I think I have like 25 feet, so
okay.
do that. And then
so are you using your movement and your action?
Sure.
Okay, you would be able to run up to the edge of this cavern, cross one of the first bridges, sort of one of the shorter bridges, and just get to the other side where the rocks continue onto the other side.
As I'm crossing, I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Oh boy. Yeah, I said it. I'm gonna do it. So then I will look down with whatever's left of my turn to Thaddeus. Can you do anything about those spiders?
I don't know if I have the capabilities of doing anything about that right now.
Okay, what about this guy? And I'll point to the hook thing that's gonna probably run up to me next.
I might be able to slow him down a little bit, but
cool, do
nothing damage-wise.
Do it! And
okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. All right. So, next up is Thaddeus. What is Thaddeus going to do?
Slow that mud down.
So, you turn Thaddeus's head towards the hook.
Yeah. Get him.
And he is going to yell. Just stay right there. And the hook is going to have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
As Thaddeus's eyes light up even brighter purple. And the hook horror succeeds on that. Thaddeus attempted to cast command, and the hook horror succeeded. And Thaddeus sort of looks back at you and he goes, I tried.
Hey, it's okay, buddy. It was worth a shot.
Okay. Next up in the initiative is Bailin.
Here we go.
Bailin is going to grab his bow and arrow, his long bow, from his back. He's going to run up to one of these other bridges that's across, and he's going to make 2 attacks towards this hook horror. The first one succeeds,
nice.
Sinking an arrow deep into its shoulder.
Get him.
4. Okay. And the next one also succeeds. An arrow in the other shoulder, deep, and let me see, doing just as much damage. This hook horror did not enjoy that. But, Flynn, you do take note of the speed with which Bailin is attacking. And you sort of just see sort of what he's doing in order to keep himself faster than the competition. Next up, the 2 hook horrors.
Real quick, he shot at the one that's farther away from me?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, cool.
He shot at the one that's further away. So the one that's close to you is going to run up to you. And he's going to attack.
Of course.
He's going to swing both of its bone claws at you.
Sure.
And as it swings, that first one is going to be a 7 to hit.
7 misses.
And a 19 to hit.
19 does hit, and I'm going to let that go.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yep.
That is going to be 9 points.
Ooh. Okay, these things hurt.
Piercing damage.
Yikes. As
these hooks sink into your torso and jut themselves back out as the hook horror attacks you. The other one is going to attempt to flee away from Bailin, having taken those 2 shots, and ends its turn on the other side of the cavern, seemingly awaiting you, sort of right in between you and where the giant spiders are.
Cool.
And as they do that, you look over towards the gate, and the gate inches up a little bit more, and you can see the writhing spider legs beginning to move and sort of make their way underneath the gate and sort of make their way out. No spiders have escaped yet, as their torsos can't fit, but their legs are just sort of beginning to crawl out from underneath.
Oh boy.
All right, Flynn, what are you doing?
Well, this thing's on me, so I can't run away anymore. I'm gonna look at my hands and look at my tattoos and go, well, guess it's time to try it again. And I'm gonna move so I am in between or I am basically flanking with the cliff with this hook horror. So I will go back on the bridge a little bit. So right behind the hook horror is the cliff, and I will, as my action, rub my fingers together. You see the blue sigil tattoo on my arm glow. I take that rippling energy, tap, tap, tap down my leg as I rise it up and channel that energy down and stomp my foot into the ground hard as I cast Thunder Wave and push it towards this hook horror, hopefully knocking him off this freaking cliff.
Okay. What are you going to need from me?
I need, please, a Constitution saving throw, and it's a really low one, but roll low.
Okay, let's... That was a very roll low. That was a very low roll.
What is it?
That is a 7. That is a 5 plus 2.
Yes, okay, yeah. So he fails. He's going off the edge.
So what happens?
So the energy pulses through, and they take 2d8. Wow, double 7s. 14 points of thunder damage. However, if they fail, they also are pushed 10 feet away from me.
Okay. So the hook horror takes the damage as it's blasted back 10 feet and directly off of the cliff. And you can see as it's falling, its arms are like scraping against the rock and trying to grab something to latch onto, but it's unable to as it falls and falls and falls. And you can hear this screech as it's falling to the lava. It might take another round to actually fall to the lava. This is pretty high up, but it is on its way down.
And I'll kind of like look at Thaddeus and did you see that? That was so cool. And I'll look over at Bailin, but Bailin, you see?
And Bailin just kind of gives you a thumbs up, and as he's notching another arrow.
And I'll look back at the cage after I collect myself, after staring down and watching this thing fall. Man. Oh, right. And I'll look over at the cage. What's the state of the cage? Does it look like I'm going to be able to make it there in like two or three turns if I can get to it? Or am I going to not make it?
You're not sure exactly, but it seems like the spiders pushing on the gate is opening it more exponentially.
Does it look like if I wedge something, can I maybe wedge something above the lever? That might be too hard. I will use my movement and get closer, as close as I can.
Okay, so that was 5 feet to move to sort of
backwards,
sidestep.
so I got 20 feet to get closer.
20.
And I'll look down at Thaddeus. Hey, bud, if you can do anything to this one, do your thing. You're doing great.
Yeah. Can you throw me at him?
Yeah. DM, can I throw him at him if I have?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you throw him at him.
I will release him from my grasp and throw him towards the hook horror. Roll him.
Okay. As you toss Thaddeus' head midair, you can see midair his eyes turn from purple to blue, as you can then all of a sudden see these sparks light up around his head, sort of taking the energy that is within him and making it external as these zaps of lightning and electrical energy form around his head. And he's going to he's going to use Power Surge.
Oh boy.
As his head actually comes in contact and hits this hook horror.
Cool.
So, that is a melee attack. I'm going to say that this is Thaddeus' melee attack.
Sure.
Which hits.
Nice.
So, on that contact, all the electrical energy spews forth from his head and is released onto the hook horror, which takes... Let's see. Ooh, this is kind of nasty. 8 points of lightning damage. as the hook horror like seizes up for a second. All of his muscles tighten as this electricity is shocked into its body, and
Nice.
Thaddeus falls to the ground and sort of rolls away about 5 feet away from the hook horror.
Great
and
job,
as he
buddy.
lands,
Yeah, I think that's about the extent of what I can do at this point.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
And I believe that's my turn and his turn.
okay. Next up is Bailin, who is going to just sort of take a couple of steps forward, put his bow over his shoulder once again, put the arrow that he was holding back into his quiver, and stand there and put his hands behind his back as he watches you.
That's so badass.
Okay. Next up, the hook horror that is no longer there is going to fall to his death. As you hear that squawking and screeching continue on, and the scrapes of these bone claws against the rock, you finally hear the squawks come to a silence with a
Nice.
as you can hear the body being disintegrated in the lava beneath you. The other hook horror, however, is going to run up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can make it to you.
Yeah.
And he's going to make two attacks with the bone claws.
Go for it.
The first one is going to be an 11 to hit,
Misses.
and that's another 19 to hit.
Oh, that does hit.
Okay. Let's see that damage.
We have to.
No, we don't have to. We'll skip that this time.
Oh, thanks, man.
That is 11 points of piercing.
Oh, that's a lot this time. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. Definitely not bloodied now. Okay, cool.
All right. Cool. So that's the hook horror's turn.
Mhm.
And at the end of the round, these spiders are clawing to get out.
Great.
And one of them just barely squeezes its body through, almost crushing its back legs as it gets out from this gate that is opening up more and more. One spider has escaped.
Okay.
With that, Flynn, what do you want to do?
Can I tell if the spider looks like it's what it's looking at, like what its intent is? Does it look like it's going for me? Does it look like it's going for the hook horror? Does it look like it's going down the cave, maybe? Like, can I glean an idea of where it's going?
An insight check.
Okay. Boy, that's good. I roll a 1, so I'm gonna re-roll and get a 5. So that is 7. There's those
Spider,
low rolls.
you can't really tell.
I figured it's a spider. Crap. Okay.
Got a bunch of eyes, and all of them are looking in different directions. You can't really tell where it's looking.
Oh boy. And I could just try the same thing again. I don't know if it's gonna look twice. That thing. I'm going to risk it and book it with my movement. And my action to get to the lever. If I
Okay.
can.
In order to do that, you would be taking a
Yep.
attack of opportunity.
Yep, I understand.
Okay, that attack of opportunity is... no, that doesn't hit. That's a 6 to hit.
Yes, there we go. Risked it and it worked.
As the hook horror swings its hook around, you're using your full 50 feet, right?
I'm going to use my action and my movement to get to the lever. On the way, can I pick up Thaddeus? Is he like there-ish?
Oh yeah, he's directly in your path.
Am I able to just kind of scoop him up as I run by?
Yeah, free action. I'll give you that as a
Cool.
free action. And you come up right to this lever. The lever itself is probably the length of your body.
I will set Thaddeus down so he's facing the spiders, including the one that's out if I can. And I'm going to... Man, I'm gonna burn my action surge. And... that's so stupid. Do I have anything else I can do? I'm going to burn my action surge and just try and jump on this lever and use my 30 or 40 pound body to pull down on the lever and try and shut the gate.
All right. Make an athletics check.
Sure. I'm great at those. This is stupid. I was dumb. Athletics?
Yeah.
-1. 17, so 16.
16. Okay. You are able to stop the gate from coming down.
Okay.
You're not able to make any progress on it.
But it stops it from
coming down
opening
even
more.
further. But it stops it from opening more.
Uh-huh.
The spiders are still trying to get out, but at this point, the spider that got out was a little bit smaller, so it had a little bit of an easier time getting out.
Okay.
At this point, you don't think that these spiders are going to be able to, as long as you're holding on to this lever, they're probably not going to be able to get any more out.
Thaddeus, do your thing! As I'm like arm over this lever, trying to pull it down. That's my turn.
Cool. Thaddeus looks up at you, and he says, "All right, I can give this another shot.
Go for it.
Stay where you are." As he tries to cast a command again, and once again, the hook horror succeeds. So that hook horror succeeds on that. Cool. Next up in the initiative is Bailin. Bailin, seeing that you're kind of struggling a little bit, he sort of...
I'm fine! Don't worry about it!
Are you sure?
I got this! Because I'm like visibly sweating. I'm totally fine! You're good.
Okay, as long as you say so. And you can see he had both of his swords on his hip, sort of halfway unsheathed.
Yeah.
He sheathes them back again and continues standing there. Next up is the hook horror and the spider. So the hook horror is not going to be able to make it to you.
Great. That was what I was hoping for.
The spider, however, is right there.
Yeah.
And they're going to step up to you and try to attack you.
Yep, as you do.
Okay. It is going to try and take a bite of you. And that is a 14 to hit.
Misses.
Okay. The spider lunges at you, but you're like hanging off of this lever, and you're just able to sort of like bring your feet up in time to escape the spider's lunge.
Hell yeah.
With that, Flynn, you're hanging on this lever. What do you want to do?
So when I move my feet to like get out of the way of the spider, could I use that as like, I'm gonna ask for a lot here, but could I like use that as momentum to kind of like get up on top of, like in between the wall and the lever, and then maybe use my leverage to like push with my feet to maybe get a better, I don't know, like angle at it to make it easier. So I'm using my whole body instead of like my arms. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you do that. Make another athletics check. But because you're doing that, I will make the DC a little bit lower.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Oh man, we're running out of ideas here. Come on, hurry. 5.
A 5. You can feel yourself starting to slip, and the gate starts to rise up once more.
Does anything come out?
Nothing comes out yet.
Okay,
but
well, I'll keep holding on to it for dear life.
There might be something
and I
that
will
comes out
yell
later.
to Thaddeus. Do something different.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, anything. You're doing great though.
Do something different.
Okay, so you told Thaddeus to do something different. He is going to, laying there on the ground, his eyes shift from purple to red as the glow behind them changes. And you can hear Thaddeus go, nope, sorry.
What was that?
I'm sorry.
What did you do?
I tried to cast something, but I think I need my hands.
Oh boy.
I'm kind of limited here in what I can do.
All right.
Okay. And with that, Seeing that the spider cage is starting to come up, Bailin is actually going to intervene now. He is, you look over at him for just a second, and he unsheathes. He's still on the other side of the cavern.
Mm-hmm.
He is still probably 100 feet away from you. You can see he unsheathes both of his swords, drives them into the ground, and vanishes.
What?
And after a split second, reappears right next to the hook horse.
Oh, that's so freaking cool!
And as he appears, he takes 2 steps forward, and the hook horror is facing you. He teleported in on the opposite side of the hook horror.
Yeah.
He teleported in on the hook horror's back. He, upon finishing his teleport, takes 2 steps forward, slides underneath the hook horror's legs.
What?
Swings one of them at his ankles, which hits for a 22. Dealing 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And as the hook horror realizes that it just had its ankle slashed, Bailin comes up with another swing of his sword, slashing at his throat, which also hits.
Nice.
Doing an additional 9 points of slashing damage. As this hook horror stumbles back, just so injured. Bailin ends up right next to you. He goes, "Hey, do you need any help?"
Man, I got this. I'm doing great. That was cool, though.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'll let you keep doing your thing.
Yeah, can you teach me how to do that later?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. As I pull down on the lever.
Okay, and with that, the spider is going to lunge at you again with another bite attack.
Cool.
That's going to be a miss.
Nice.
This spider is not doing too good.
Great, I love it.
I mean, I assume a 6 misses.
Yes, a 6 does.
And then the hook horror is also... Actually... Yeah, Bailin just attacked. It's going to attack Bailin.
Whew.
And that is going to be a hit and a miss. So the first swing of this hook horror hits Bailin. Or let's see. That's 11 points of piercing damage as it gets him sort of right in the side. And you can see he winces for a second and then sort of gets his resolve back.
Okay.
And that is their turn. Flynn.
Man, this ain't working. This lever ain't working. I need to do something. I can't. If I let go of the lever, they're gonna all come out. I can't let go of the lever.
You don't know that for sure.
Okay. All right.
Come on, Flynn, let go of the lever.
No.
Let go of the lever, Flynn.
No, I'm not gonna let go of the lever. I'm gonna try and push the lever down again with my action, because that's worthwhile.
Okay. Once again, because in the position that you're in,
Yeah,
the DC
I'm gonna
is
try
lower.
and use the whole leverage thing. Can I reach Thaddeus without letting go of the lever?
No.
I have to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't risk it. So I'm just gonna try one more time. I'm just gonna try and push with all my might, just with my feet, just push it into this lever, back against the wall, just trying to push with all my might.
Okay.
Try and shut it closed.
Make an athletics roll.
Right. Roll high. 7. So 6.
6?
Yeah.
It's creeping open once again.
Crap. Yeah, I don't have anything in my bag because it's hard. That's my turn.
Okay. Thaddeus, now laying on the ground right next to this hook horror. You can see him just sort of waving back and forth, and he tries to get himself to roll over, and he rolls over and just barely touches the hook horror's foot.
Oh, okay.
And is gonna do a power surge once again.
Get him.
And that hits as the hook horror's entire body once again seizes up, but this time you can see like these scorch marks from the lightning move its way up its body, almost as if the hook horror is like being cooked from the inside, as it then falls down dead.
Nice.
Okay. Bailin turns to you and he says, "Are you sure you don't need any assistance on that?"
Listen, Bailin, I got this. It's almost there. I'm fine.
And as this spider is sort of moving around back and forth, he goes, "And do you want me to deal with that?"
I mean, if you're not too busy, you feel free, but I can handle it.
All right, if you say so.
I got this.
And he takes his 2 swords and he sort of spins him with a flourish in his hand. The first attack towards the spider misses as he sort of swings at one of the legs, but it reaches up with its leg, missing it. The second one hits, though, so he slashes at it for 8 points of slashing damage against the spider.
Nice.
But the spider is still fixed on you, so it is going to try and take a bite attack.
Sure.
And that is a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that does hit.
Okay. As its mandibles lunge forward and sink into you. That was a 1 on the die.
Nice.
So that is 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay. That hurts, but not as much as that other thing.
And then Flynn, it's your turn once again.
Of course it is. Okay. Could I don't think I have any other abilities that can help shut a lever. I don't know if I can do this, but it sounds cool, so sure. I'm going to, while I'm pushing on this... Oh, you know what? What I'll do is I will, pushing down on this, does it look like you can wedge something and into the lever so it stops it from progressing or opening anymore?
If you got a rock, you might be able to. You could definitely try.
What about a sword?
Yeah.
I will hold my hand out with a black tattoo, and you see that greenish energy start to form as the black tattoo glows, and I summon my sword in my hand, and I'm going to wedge it. As soon as it materializes, I'm going to wedge it into the lever to stop it from moving any further.
Okay. And as you do, the blade finds purchase deep within the gears of this lever, and you sort of, like, not fully letting go, but sort of test it for a second, and it doesn't seem to be moving.
I will jump off and look at this spider. Now that I know that the lever's holding, I'll look up at Bailin. I got this. I look back at the spider. And as I do, I'll take a few deep breaths. Calm myself. Second wind.
Okay.
That's bonus action. So I will get back some hit points. Nice. Okay, 12 hit points back. As I kind of calm my breath. Yeah, that was a good roll. I'm gonna calm my breath, stare this giant spider in the eyes. I fought you before, and that's my turn.
Okay. Next up, Thaddeus on the ground, sort of rolled 10 feet away from you. You hear,
"Doing great, Flynn!"
Bailin, once again, with a flourish, sheathes his swords, and he's sort of right next to you at the wall where this lever is. And he sheathes his swords, crosses his arms, and just leans up against the wall and watches. Next up, the spider is going to take a bite attack.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, cool.
So, let me tell you, that is...
Wait, what is it total? What is the total altogether?
The total damage?
No, the total to roll when he rolls a natural 20 is. He probably adds more than. It's not gonna matter.
Yeah, here I'll just give you the total number. Say goodbye to that second wind. That is 12 points of piercing damage.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. All right, I mean, good thing I second winded then.
Yeah.
12 damage. All right, that's fine. Woo. Okay.
Okay, now it's Flynn once again. What are you doing?
I will. Run. I will run away, south down the path that the Hokor that Bailin attacked, the one that's kind of more of a straight shot, and go across the bridge, the closer bridge to me. Create a kind of like a funnel point.
Okay. Sorry, where are you going?
Just
You're
like
going...
straight south, across the one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, where the second Hokor came from.
Gotcha. Okay, you would just be able to get to the end of that bridge.
Sure, that's great.
So you're going back across the cavern.
Yeah. Could I maybe get around so there's an opening so the spider can kind of come in onto the platform at all? Would I be able to get off the bridge, or do I have enough?
I would say you would be able to. Yeah, that's
like
you can just step off of that bridge.
Basically to like one of the corners, like either left or right side of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm assuming he takes an attack, right?
Yeah, he'll get an attack of opportunity.
Go for it.
No.
No? Oh my god. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. And then that was just my movement. So I will bonus action. And you see, again, I'm summoning that green energy, the black tattoo glows, but my bow appears in my hand.
Okay.
And I quickly chuck it over to the other hand so I can pull back and loose an arrow.
Okay. Awesome. Make an attack roll.
Because I guess I'm assuming I have like my arrows on my pouch or something, or it comes with it. I can't remember exactly how we roll that. But yeah, I will loose an arrow. If I remember how to loose an arrow. Okay, there we go. All right, it's still a decent roll. It's cocked. Ooh, does a 12 hit?
A 12 does hit. A 12 just hits.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, let me roll some damage.
As you could see the spider that had escaped, in like leaving this cage, it had sort of crushed two of its back legs and peeled a little bit of that like natural armor that it's got on it. Had just peeled a little bit off as it scraped on the gate underneath. So you hit right in that soft spot.
Nice. And I look at my tattoos as I'm pulling back the bow and like, I try and like do something, but I know it doesn't work. I'm just like, and I shoot. And here's the damage. It's nice. 9 points of piercing damage from this short bow.
9 points of piercing. All right. As you just hit this soft spot in the spider, you hit it just in the right spot to where it like knocks it onto its side and it rolls over. And just like when you kill a spider, its legs curl in and seize up as the spider is now dead.
I will, breathing heavily, look up at Bailin. See, I told you, I got it. I'm fine. I got it.
All by yourself.
And I kind of sit on my butt. Whew. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'd say that was pretty cool.
How'd you do that teleport thing?
Oh, I'll tell you, that's years of practice.
One day.
One day you'll get there.
I'll sit back up and run over. Thaddeus, you all right?
Oh yeah, I'm all good. I hope I was useful enough.
Hey, you did great.
Thank you. You know, when I was like just trying to roll myself over to the thing, I didn't think I.
Oh. Well, you need some rest, and I'll roll him under my arm, drop my bow, look at the sword. Does it seem to be holding?
It seems to be holding for the time being, but these spiders are like, the gate is still a little bit open. These spiders are trying to get out.
Hey, Bailin, you got a sec to help me with this?
Shit, man. I had seconds before. I could have helped you out with this.
No, but I mean, now that I've kind of, I've taken care of the
all right,
problem.
Here, come on. Let's do it.
All right. I'll help him close the gate.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, pull. And you guys pull the gate closed. You're able to sort of pull your sword free.
Sure.
And the gate closes, trapping all of the spiders in this little outcropping
Kind
of...
nah. And I put my finger close to the gate. Ha ha ha.
One of the spiders lunges at you, but isn't able to get to.
And I head back over to Bailin in the continuing walkway. So what do you think's down that way?
I don't know.
Who are those drow? Are they bad people? Are they...
I'll tell you, I haven't ever seen drow come this far up.
Oh.
I find that interesting.
That goes...
I've never seen any drow, at least in these parts, come this close to the surface before, let alone these beasts over here, as he points to one of the hook horrors.
Right.
The hook horror dead on the ground.
Yeah. Wait, so this goes down?
Oh, this goes way down.
Huh. We going?
I'd say not right now. I'd say that's the job for another time. But I would definitely say I find it quite strange. Creatures are coming. Like I said, I've never seen them up this far.
Yeah, and I'll as he mentions it and points to one of those creatures, I'll pull my book out, my bestiary out once again, and I'll kind of sit down for a few minutes and kind of start scribbling down. Now that I know that we're not going to be going deeper into the cave, I'll spend some time to write a few notes, draw some sketches, write down some information about these creatures, and add them to my bestiary. And if I can, I'd like to short rest here
for sure
with him.
Yeah. So yeah, you take a short rest here. You can add those effects to your character sheet. And as you're sitting there, you sort of look around the cave. You got a minute to yourself, and you're sort of sitting next to the spider that you killed. And you notice this spider, along with all the other spiders in the cage, have these leather straps on them, kind of going around their torso, almost like you would put a saddle on top.
Interesting.
Sort of like they're prepped to have a saddle put on top, but of course there isn't one right now. And you notice that on most of the spiders that are in this little cage here. And as you're looking at that, Bailin walks over to the cage, and he goes, "Well, now this is interesting." And he looks up, and there's a little bit of a banner sort of on this gate, and it's probably no bigger than 2 feet long. And he reaches up and he grabs it and he tears it down, and on the banner is a little symbol of 2 identical crowns, sort of placed one next to each other. 2 identical, intricate crowns.
Okay. And this was on the gate with the spiders?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't really know what this means. Shit, I'm running into a bunch of new stuff today. I couldn't tell you exactly what this is, but I would assume it came from those drow that were here.
Yeah, it looks like
probably find their home deeper here within the cave.
And I'll touch the leather straps on the one dead spider. It looks like they maybe rode these things?
That'd be my best guess.
Huh. Interesting. How'd I do?
You kicked ass, man. And he comes over and gives you a high five.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Well.
Hey,
yeah.
Since you're sitting here resting for a second, here, I wanna teach you something.
Yeah, I'll stand up. I'll close my book from my bestiary. I'll close that. Stand up. Yeah. What?
Get your sword back.
Oh, okay. And I'll summon it.
All right, now, and he unsheathes just one of his swords, and he says, "Now, I know what they teach you in the Iron Light is, strike with your power, and just put all your power into one attack. typically when we're facing shit that's meaner and bigger and badder than us, typically that just doesn't work, and you're going to need to attack it more than it attacks you. So here's a little something I picked up. They don't really teach you this over in the Iron Light. And he shows you sort of an attack stance and a way to put your footing and a way to sort of grip your sword and a way to use your sword's weight and sort of in a flourish attack twice as fast.
Hey.
And with that, over the course of him sort of teaching you this, you sitting here and learning from him, you level up.
Hey, let's go. Woo.
So you think you got it there?
Yeah, I mean, and I go over to the dead hook thing. And you're like, not with, and I do the stance. It's like this, and I attack twice really quick. Yeah, I think.
Hey, exactly like that.
Yeah, can I do that with? And I drop my sword. Bonus action, summon my bow. Toss it to my other hand. Pull back and try and shoot 2 quick arrows to the spider across the way.
Oh, that's like kind of another thing.
Huh?
Yeah, here. Let me show you. And he pulls his bow out from his back, and he's like, all right, so when you sort of notch your first arrow, and then on the release of that first arrow, use that momentum of your hand coming back to then recoil, grab another arrow, and then come forward. And that sort of saves you that time of, okay, I'm looking at my target, I'm seeing if the arrow's going to hit. Like, forget all that. The arrow's either going to hit or it's not. Concentrate on getting that next shot off, and then you're golden.
Near the end of that, I kind of lose concentration, and I start like doing cool movements, like ninja moves and like poses, and then I quickly snap back and like, oh right, and I try to do the 2 arrow thing and mess it up a few times, but
after a couple tries, you're able to sort of get the rhythm of it down.
Yeah.
Because there definitely is like a rhythm of reloading this arrow. But yeah, you're able to attack twice with both your sword and your bow and arrow now.
Hey, thanks.
Hey, don't mention it.
Man, this is fun.
Best time of my life has been hunting monsters.
Yeah. Do you know who Mellaroo is? You know her, right?
Oh, yeah.
How do you,
That woman scares the ever-living daylights out of me.
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
Not many things scare me, but like coming down here, this was fun. This was a walk in the park.
This is great.
She terrifies me.
Yeah, she doesn't like me much.
She doesn't like anyone much.
Okay. I thought maybe it was because of my height, or lack thereof.
Well, that couldn't have helped.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
Yeah, not many halflings come through.
Yeah. What's next?
Well, you said you're not a sentinel, right?
Not yet.
I think what's next for you, chopping off one of these heads, taking it back.
That's a far way away. How am I going to keep it fresh?
Yeah, I might have something for you. I might be able to give you a little something, a parting gift.
Okay. And I'll walk over to one of the hook horror, because the other one's pushed in the lava. And I'll summon my sword and start hacking away. Quicker than normal.
So this is your first to 5, huh?
My what?
Your first to 5. Until you can, fully get to where I'm at.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. Huh. I start hacking. Do I know what he's talking about? Would Flynn know?
Yeah. So he would sort of know that you need to prove yourself a little bit, but this is kind of the first time that he's hearing about any specifics.
Oh, in that case, yeah. Okay.
And
then
Bailin goes, Bailin goes, yeah, so is your first. Basically, you gotta, obviously prove yourself. You know that much. But you gotta bring back a couple trophies. And typically it's, you bring back 5 or 6 before you can fully get the title.
Huh. I went over at the spider. Does that count?
Nah. It's gotta be a certain threat level.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah. The most monsters that you come across, like the stuff that you can sort of kill quite easily, that doesn't really prove anything. So you gotta, like, once you take down something big like this, you gotta, you gotta take it back. And now, I was standing over there watching because I couldn't, in good conscience, let you take back one of these heads if I didn't know that you were capable of actually killing one of these. So that's why I was standing. I know that might have looked impolite, and I know I also killed this one right here, but I mean, shit, you killed that one down in the lava.
I did not I can go down there and get that one's head, but I don't think there's much left.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
I know you can kill one of these things because you did. Doesn't matter which one it was.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, this is yours. It's yours to have.
Well, thanks. And don't worry about it. Victor would stand around and watch me do my trials and practice. It wasn't much for helping either, so what you did was more than ever he would do.
Well, Iron Light sort of breeds a certain type of folk.
Not to say he's not a good teacher, but yeah,
kind of a stick in the mud.
Kind of let you find your own way.
Yeah,
which I guess is
seems like you found your way, or are finding it, I should say.
Yeah, I'm definitely not there yet. As I look over at that freaking lever.
It's getting kind of hot down here with all the lava and such, and these bodies are not going to be smelling too good in a couple minutes. Let's head on back, and I'll let you go on your way.
Sounds good. And I'll finish cutting the rest of this head off and start dragging it. I'll put Thaddeus under one arm, and the hook horror, I'll grab it by the mane or the tendon, start carefully dragging it across the bridges out of the cave.
You take the head, both heads, Thaddeus and the hook horror.
Yeah.
And you walk across the bridge out of the cave and back into the forest. You pick up your backpack along the way with all of your belongings. You strap Thaddeus to the side of that so it's a little bit easier to carry the hook horror.
Summon both of my weapons back, throw them on the sides of the backpack, get it all situated. I'll turn Thaddeus on for the 10. Can I still turn him on for 1 hour, or no? It's just 10 minutes from now on.
It's just 10 minutes.
I'll turn him on for another.
You can either choose once for 1 hour or 3 times for 10 minutes.
Sure. I'll turn him on for 10 minutes. Be like, hey, you did great again. We're heading back.
Oh, great.
Look at this. And I'll hold the horror's head up.
Oh, nasty.
I know, right? It's gross. And I'll poke it. Apparently I need to turn this in to prove that I killed it.
How long is that gonna stay?
I don't know. Bailin, and I'll look over at Bailin. You said there's something I can do to this?
Oh yeah, I got a place for you to put it.
Oh, okay. Well, how am I gonna get all the way back to the Iron Lake Castle?
I don't know. That's kind of up to you.
All right. And I'll keep as we're walking. I follow him to wherever he's leading. I don't know if he's going back to the camp or whatever.
And after a couple of minutes, you guys actually make it back to the camp. Well, Flynn, I gotta say, it was a pleasure. And he reaches his hand out to shake your hand.
I reach my hand up, shake his.
Well, if you ever come around here again, I would love to share stories with you. And hopefully next time you come around, you've got one of these guys, and sort of ruffles his cloak, his green cloak. But in the meantime, here, why don't you take this? I got 2 or 3 of them. And he tosses you a bag of holding.
What? Okay. Yeah. I'll grab it, like, because I don't know if Flynn knows what it is. I have one.
Yeah, it can just hold a bunch of stuff, and it's sort of like its own pocket dimension. So if you put stuff in there, it will probably decay at a slower rate.
Oh.
Which I would assume is what you're looking for.
Well, yeah. I'll look at the head and look at the bag. Just shove it in there. Well, thanks. I have a really silly question before we head out.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, so I have this bag, a different one than this, and I kind of like collect stuff on my journeys. And if you don't have anything, I can look around. But I'm curious, is there anything I could like hold on to just to, like as a keepsake? If do you have anything, or if maybe you have anything at the camp?
Something small?
Yeah, something small.
Yeah. And he reaches back into his hair that was put in a bun, pulls out a little pin.
Yes.
And it's like a little bronze pin that was holding his hair together, and he tosses it over to you. As his hair kind of drapes and flows down, you sort of get, when his hair is up, you get more of like a human. You get more of the human side of him.
Yeah.
But now that his hair is down and sort of flowing and cascading over his shoulders, you definitely see the elven lineage
side.
there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Badass. I'm like, cool. Thanks for the pin. I'll look at it, open my bag up, and just kind of chuck it in there, and you hear the ching ching of all the other stuff in there as I put it back over my shoulder. Well, thanks.
Yeah, of course.
I'll have to come back, check up on you.
Yeah, please do.
Maybe when I do, I'll tap my shoulder with one of those shoulder pads.
Can't wait to see you again, Flynn.
Been good. If I run into Victor, I'll let him know I saw you.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Is it really that bad?
No.
Well, till next time.
Till next time. And as you turn around, you walk back to the path that you came on. You walk back to the city wall of Solaris. You walk up to the guard, same guard as when you had left. He recognizes you and sort of nods his head and lets you in, as not that many people come through this way. You walk back into the city, and just as the sun is setting over the horizon, you make your way back to the inn, and you walk up into your room with Thaddeus, and you walk into the room, and you see standing there Kalik and Shreya. And that is where we're going to end today's episode. We're going to call it right there, with Flynn making his way back to the inn. And that's where we're going to call it. So thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Hey, it's Russ. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Thank you again for being a part of this adventure with us. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit for updates on episodes, giveaways, and more. I'll see you next episode. Bye, nerds.